Hello again. So our next session is about Chapter Exchange project. And here with us to speak are Priya Patra from India, Madeleine Ceausescu from PMI Netherlands, and Aneta Vereszczak from PMI Poland. Hello guys, are you here?
Hello.
We are.
Perfect. Shub Divas Priya, good dak Madeleine und dobry dzień Aneta. I hope I got it right. So welcome to our event, Project Explorer. And please start your presentation, your speech about this interesting project, the Chapter Exchange project.
Thank you very much for that introduction. And we are here to talk or tell you a story of the PMI Chapter Exchange Initiative. So before I do that, let me share my screen and give me a thumbs up if you're able to see. Are you? All right. Okay, so yes, hello everyone. My name is Priya Patra and I am the Vice President Outreach of PMI Mumbai chapter. And today we are here with
I'm sorry,
my
Priya.
PMI
I'm
chapter
sorry for.
exchange team.
Yes, perfect. Great. We can see your screen now. Perfect. Go ahead.
All right. So you can see my screen. Thank you for that confirmation. And as I said, we are here with our chapter exchange team, and only two of us are here, right? But however, we do have a big team of 20 chapter leaders who work with passion, conviction, month after month to make this collaboration a success. And you see these three chapter leaders on your screen right now. What we are going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the lessons that we learned across continents, countries, and cultures in building a virtual global community, the chapter exchange or the PMI chapter exchange. But before we start doing that, we will we will talk about who we are. And this batch is actually who we are. And it is a collaborative effort, a teamwork again across continents and cultures and countries. The X symbol that you see there is nothing but it's about collaborative exchange of ideas. And this logo was built by Ayanda More from the South Africa chapter. These two colors, orange and purple, we took from PMI. Orange is about being fearless, adventurous, trying new things, and transcending across boundaries. And purple is about nurturing. At the end of the day, who are we nurturing? We are giving back to the community. And in this case, the community of project professionals. And the circle that you see here actually unites all these chapters together on a common platform. And so you see, our identity, our badge is designed all around the theme of collaboration. It is about breaking down, smashing all geographical boundaries, cultural barriers, and how respect and fairness can build a community. And that is why we truly believe that virtual collaboration has no boundaries. Now, this is a global collaboration, right? Or should I say that it is a global virtual collaboration? I think so, because it transcends across, again, countries, continents, cultures, and we like to put it that way. And we started in April 2020 when the entire world was going into the lockdown, the great lockdown. And I had taken up the role of the Vice President Outreach. And as part of this outreach activity, we started Chapter Outreach Initiative. The founding chapters of this platform was Czech Republic chapter led by Lenka Pinkot, you heard a few minutes back, and South Africa chapter led by Dr. Lynn Keys. And our vision was to evangelize cross-chapter collaboration and to encourage cultural diversity. As we speak today, there are 20 chapters on this platform, and of course, many supporting chapters. And it's all about teamwork. Uh, and what do we do, right? we co-create monthly events to bring in diverse perspectives to our chapter members, spurring networking and collaboration opportunities. But is it all about events? Well, I think it is more than the event. It's the outcome. Event is just an outcome of this amazing journey of 4 weeks of connecting, collaborating, and co-creating. This journey makes it really special. And we have moved much beyond events right now. And we are publishing something called as Insight Exchange Nuggets. Already have 10 of them, 9 of them published. Sorry, the 10th one will be published today or tomorrow. These are nothing but takeaways from the sessions that we have every month, and bringing in diverse perspectives across continents. If you do wish to participate in our program, drop us a note, connect with us, any one of us on LinkedIn, or send us a message. Someone will reach out to you. We really want everyone to join our program, be part of this amazing journey. And that was a small brief of who we are. Now we're going to have a small discussion with all the chapter leaders, 2 chapter leaders that we have here today. So I'll stop sharing my screen, and I will ask these chapter leaders to share their experience of being part of this journey. So I have with me here Anita from PMI Poland and Madeline from PMI Netherlands chapter. So to start with, as we said, our vision is to bring about cultural diversity and encourage cross chapter collaboration. So, what do you think, Anita, has been the value that Chapter Exchange has brought to you? And I know that Poland just joined us in 2021. You are a new entrant to this platform. But what was your first thought when you joined this program? What value did Chapter Exchange bring to you?
Thank you, Priya. Thank you for this question. Indeed, we are quite fresh to the initiative. However, I can already say that by being part of this initiative, we can really live our chapter values. We defined our chapter values, which are passion, development, and collaboration. And we can fulfill these values exactly by being part of this community. Another important value that, from my perspective, is very, very crucial is that we can learn other cultures, we can learn other countries. We can also find out about some trends that are visible across the world. And one more, from my perspective, value coming from this initiative, that we can feel that we are part of something bigger than just our chapter, that we are part of the bigger community, which is very, very beneficial, especially at this point in times.
Definitely, Anita. And as you rightly said, we come to know about the trends all across the globe. And trust me, I get news from, say, South Africa, even before the television tells me, because I'm connected with so many leaders across the globe. Madeleine, Netherlands have been part of this program since 2020 and has been an active partner in this program. I know that you joined a little late, like later, I think in the mid of 2021. But what do you think the value that is this program is bringing to you, to the chapter members of Netherlands or the volunteers of PMI Netherlands chapter?
Thank you, Priya, for asking this question. I think that this program, Chapter Exchange, was seen as a great opportunity by our local chapter, and because it gives a lot of it can give a lot to our members, access to great discussions from people with a lot of experience, and our members can see how project management is done also in other parts of the world, and what they can learn from different industries, from practical experience of the people that are giving these talks in the program Chapter Exchange. So I believe it's a great plus for us, and our members are excited to join every month.
Definitely, definitely. We see a lot of participation from both these chapters on the program, and it has been exponentially rising, which is a good news. That means we are giving back certain value to some value at least to our members and volunteers. So thank you very much, both of you all, for your active participation in the program. The next thing that comes to my mind, right? It's our journey to improve chapter collaboration. And as I said, I learned a lot. It improved my collaboration skills, my negotiation skills, improved my cultural IQ. There were so many things I didn't know about other cultures because I work for the North America BU, and I know how Americans, think. What is their culture? And I thought that I knew I could gel with any culture. However, that was not true. When I started interacting with other chapter leaders across the globe, I, I came to know there was a lot of things that I yet had to learn. So, this is a question for both of you, Anita and Madhaleen. What did you learn personally from your involvement in the chapter exchange? And I'll start with Anita to share her experience.
Mhm. Yes, I definitely learned how to work in the global team as we are spread across the world, across different time zones, and still we can deliver amazing outcomes. So this is something that I can also some practices and some tools I can transfer to my daily work as well, because I'm also working in the global team. So this is definitely something that I'm learning as being part of this initiative. Another thing that I'm learning personally, as I'm Vice President of Marketing in Poland chapter, I can observe and learn how our events are promoted, what we do to increase awareness, and the same, like I can observe and learn what are the practices across the world to promote the event. So this is something that I am also incorporating to my work for PMI Poland chapter. And another learning for me is to get to know how many engaged volunteers PMI has across the world. This is what amazed me. This is what I'm really, really proud of, that almost in every corner of the world we have a PMI volunteer. So this is what I learned.
Great, great. And you know what, Anita, apart from all these things that you spoke, I also improved my geographical knowledge because we have participations from countries I had never even heard of before. Maybe I was poor in geography, but definitely this has improved my geographical knowledge as well. Uh, Madeline, what was your learning as personal learning from involvement in this chapter exchange initiative?
I learned personally from two things, also from being involved in the project team for organizing the project, but also from the events themselves. Uh, Personally, for me, it helps a lot to be around people who have decided to go further with their personal development and joining this community as a volunteer. So that's why I also joined PMI in the first place, and PMI Chapter Exchange brought this experience even further. In the program, I saw how you are using tools, and I am part of the team now, how we are using the tools there, and I was really impressed, and I started to apply them in other parts of my work, in my job, and they were people seeing me applying them were quite enthusiastic about this. I also and maybe we can speak later about other tools that we are using. And also from the events themselves, I have learned every time I find out something new. For example, from the last event about emotional intelligence in project management, there were a lot of ideas and talks about what is the right pressure you have to put on your teammates, for example, not too high, not too low. So there is a cohesive atmosphere in the team and a good structure. I think these are some of my great learnings.
Great. And yeah, of course, as you said, that it is applying learnings from your workplace to the program and from the program to your workplace. And I do that all the time. Certain tools I learned even in the on the program which I had never used in the workplace, like the Jamboard. I started using it for brainstorming sessions with my teams because now everyone is virtual, right? So we don't have the privilege of using the whiteboard anymore. So we use the Jamboard, and it works quite well. So yes, it is always taking learnings from your volunteering life to your business life, and from your business life to your volunteering life, so that you can make use of all of the learnings in both the places. Yes. Uh, Let us talk about the pandemic a little. Yeah. And for me, it was the COVID, right? Yeah, although it was a big lockdown, it was like, how do I transform this to an opportunity? So as soon as the pandemic started, and there was this great lockdown from April onwards, from March 22nd to be precise onwards in India, I started chapter outreach. And my position as a vice president outreach started only from 1st April, but I started this outreach even before that. Um, what was I doing at that point of time? I was trying to seek for speaking opportunities. And I thought, this is a great opportunity. Now I don't need to travel. I don't need to spend money, no visa, no passport, nothing required. I could go ahead and create connections with different PMI chapters across the globe and kind of, share my thoughts. And that is what I did. And that's how I came to know many chapter presidents. I connected with them, and of course that helped me later on to create to connect with them and build this virtual community. So what was your learning in this COVID for you, Anita? How was this year 2020 and 2021?
So for me, it was really exceptional year because I accepted a job offer in March 2020. So I started on the 1st of April 2020, just I think 2 weeks after the first lockdown started in Poland. So if you could imagine starting a new job, not knowing anyone in your new company, and you are just sitting at home working remotely and you know no one in your new company. So that was me in April 2020. Luckily, there was one colleague. She remembered me from PMI events organized by Poland chapter, and she immediately encouraged me to join a community that was built at the time. It was called Women in Technology. And I need to tell you that it seems like the benefit of being PMI volunteer that people know you from events, and how it worked for me really good in pandemic times when I still had opportunity to meet colleagues from different departments than just mine, who probably I would meet by working in the office. But how would I know otherwise that this community is being built if I was not involved by already working employee who knew me, someone from past? So that was the experience for me, that even in such times you can still connect with people. And for me, it was really also good onboarding exercise when I joined the new company. to be able to build our internal community. And I think that in some terms, I would say pandemic opened us to new opportunities. Like, for example, from my perspective, I participated in Leadership Institute meetings so far, but I never had opportunity to meet colleagues from, let's say, Africa, South Africa, from Ghana, even from Netherlands before. So I'm really happy that we have this opportunity to be part of this initiative, because I think somehow it brings us together.
Yes, true. And PMI definitely has had a lot of value to my personal network as well. Uh, with every PMI chapter exchange event, I get at least 30 LinkedIn requests. So you can imagine the network that we are building. So I encourage you, Madeline, and all chapter leaders, plus everyone, all speakers, all volunteers who join our events to connect and collaborate with each other. Because with your networking, your experience improves. You learn so many new things. Yes. Uh, Next thing that comes to my mind, and this is a question we get from the project management community: how are we managing so many chapters? How are we keeping them engaged? They want to know our good practices. So, what do you think worked? And how did we keep the community engaged? And as we know, we have 20 chapters on this platform, four from every continent. uh, we can get everyone on the platform, but keeping them engaged and keeping them live, right, is another thing when everyone is a volunteer. So, this question goes to Madeline. What do you think actually worked, and how did we manage this?
Well, I think there are a few things that are working for this team. The first is that we communicate regularly, and the people that are in the core team, they understand that communication is very important. And even if when they are busy with other tasks, they let everyone know, and somebody is there to pick up the task and go ahead with the project. Second of all, I think that the people that joined this program as volunteers are highly motivated to learn something for themselves and also to give back to the community. And that's why I guess everything is a bit smooth with that respect. And I also think that I joined later this program, but at the moment I joined, I saw already that under your leadership, Priya, there are certain processes have been already established that keep our members engaged. For example, the schedules for marketing, publishing, the Jamboard, brainstorming sessions, and post analysis and summary of the events. So I think now everything is very coherent, established between every part of the process from beginning until the end of the event, and members know already what they have to do. And let's not forget also the feedback that we get from the people that are watching our events and also from ourselves. We are giving internally feedback, and we are trying um, to work on this and to improve every time. I guess
Yes,
this.
yes. And yeah, I think feedback is a very, very important thing. And like our last session, and we thanked everyone who attended our session, each and every attendee. I think we had around more than 12,000 registrations that we have had over the last two seasons, with over 98 countries coming and participating. Last event saw 70 countries on one day for 2 hours. Think about it. And the feedback that we get, most of the time it is good, sometimes not so good, but we take this as a learning opportunity. We really do work on it. Uh, and Madeline, you touched upon a very nice point, that is about the event analysis. That's a very crucial part of our program. And we've got feedback, like just as Anita said, that she looks at the marketing schedule and she tries to implement in her chapter. Similarly, we've got feedback from other chapters as well. They are trying to replicate this model for the chapter events as well. So we do a post-event analysis and we see what are the marketing actions that worked region-wise. So what works for India may not work for Poland or Netherlands. So what works there? And based on that, we derive actions and we try to implement for our next event so that we improve continuously. So thank you, Madeline, for touching upon that point as well. Now, what are some key learnings from these connects that we have had, these events that we are having every month, right? So far, I think we've already had 17 events, 2020 and 2021. What have been your key learnings, Anita, to start with?
Mm-hmm. I'm really amazed how our session titles are selected, and for sometimes I wouldn't even think that this topic might be out, out of interest for project managers. So, for example, the last session, emotional intelligence, that was something that struck me that we can really implement some learnings about being emotionally intelligent to implement that in our daily work. Another session that I participated was also about design thinking, how we can implement the tools of design thinking into project management. So empathizing with your stakeholders to get to know what they really want, what is the product that they really want to use. And also, I think the session about robotic process automation was really interesting because there is a lot of fear, like will robots take project management's job? So this is what we can like deep dive into the topic and really understand: is it really a risk? Is it really a fear? Is it something what we should be afraid of, or is it something that will help us? So far, I didn't participate in many sessions, but from each of them, I could take some of it and even, start thinking about that from project management perspective, that this is something that I should be probably focused on, or read some more things about that. And I'm really grateful that we have this nuggets with the knowledge. So from time to time, I'm browsing through the documents and I'm learning what our speakers told us in the previous sessions that I couldn't participate. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we did realize along the way a recording of 1 hour. Yes, some people may be interested in just going through it if they have missed the session, but a nugget is a concise form, right? It's a small bite-sized learning. So we went ahead and started publishing those nuggets. And thanks to a chapter leader from Puget Sound chapter, Washington, who has taken initiative in kind of designing those nuggets and publishing them every month. So watch out for the next nugget that is coming out today or tomorrow. I need to follow up with him. He's probably sleeping now, but definitely will. I will check with him, and I please watch our social media for this publishing of this last nugget of the year. Madeline, do you have anything to add here as to what were your key learnings from the connects that we have had?
I can add one small thing. What I saw, for example, in the first session where I was involved in digital tools for project management, I understood that big ideas are spread around the world. And for example, they were talking there that even digital tools, even if they are very important and even critical in some respects, nothing is more important than your personal experience, and you cannot skip this by using any tool. And this, yeah, makes you think about that you have to grow organically also in the end. You cannot skip everything with using some tools that they can help you, but you don't know how they can help you.
True, true. And this is one of the principles that we follow in Chapter Exchange Initiative. Tools are just levers, right? A Jamboard, a WhatsApp group, a LinkedIn group, or instant messaging are just levers. It's the people, it's the passion of the people that make it happen, right? Why do we have participants from New Zealand, which is 2:30 a.m. in the morning their time? We have it because they find value. They are passionate about this program. That's why we have participants from these regions. So people ask us, how do you transcend across so many time zones? Yes, it is very difficult to find a time that suits everyone. But once a month, if we can add value, if we can bring in some key learnings, definitely people are bound to come and join you or participate or volunteer for your program. That is one of our key learnings. And as we all know, right, a community cannot be built in a day. Just as say, Rome was not built in a day. We have had lots of challenges, and just as I talked about the time zone, we've had problems with the daylight savings. Madeline, you remember last event you joined 1 hour late because there was a daylight savings, and in India we don't follow the daylight savings. So, uh, that was one of the challenges that we have faced. Conflict with PMI chapter and global events. But since then, we've taken these learnings. We prepared an event calendar. We asked our chapter leaders to look ahead of time for the date, the time, and come up with ideas how we can come up uh, alleviate these challenges. I would say. So this is a question to Madalyn. What do you think were the challenges in building this community?
Well, I have to say first that the daylight saving thing was a bit embarrassing. That happened. It shouldn't have. Um, so I hope all our participants didn't forget this when they joined, but I know it was one of the biggest number of participants in that session, so I think it was no issue. Well, most of the things you already solved, I think, before I joined the session, and for me, the biggest challenge was in the beginning to align my current schedule at work with the schedule of PMI chapter exchange. But I found a very warm team that helped me to go over this. And in the beginning, when I was not able to do specific things, it was a lot of understanding from your side. And now I have built my own process on how to be a part of the team and more involved. And I guess that's the case with everything that you start new. You have to learn a bit from your mistakes, and yeah, you apply your learnings after. Thank you.
True. And you really touched upon the second principle that we follow in chapter extent. Done is better than perfect. So don't wait for things to become perfect because that will never happen. And if we keep waiting, um, if we did that, we would have never built this community like this, right? We started off with, like, say, only 100 people attending the events. We learned from our mistakes. We learned from the daylight savings. We learned from the time zone issues, technical issues. WebEx had given us a lot of grief, but yet we continued. So the consistency, learnings from this, it's like, get it done and learn from it, because if you never get it done, you will never know what the challenges are. And that's the second principle that we follow. First one was people make it happen, tools are just levers, and second is done is better than perfect. uh, what about the tools? Since that we have touched upon the tools, yeah, tools are just levers, we said, but yes, we leverage a lot of collaboration tools, and tools has enabled us to take this collaboration to the next level. Which one is your favorite, Anita?
I must say that I really like WhatsApp. It really helps to keep me motivated, and it was already said multiple times how we are analyzing what is going on. I really like our data-driven approach because thanks to WhatsApp, we can closely monitor, for example, registrations from our countries. And it can help me to think even more about what other marketing promotions I can think of, what can I do to improve our registrations. And thanks to WhatsApp, it is like the pull communication, right? So we are submitting some information, but whenever I have time, I can quickly look at it, check what are our figures, and already act on it. What I like it about it is also that we can quickly share the links to improve the reach of our LinkedIn posts, Facebook posts, and I can already quickly identify who is in our WhatsApp group. I can also connect with them on LinkedIn to observe our profiles to increase the reach of our marketing promotions. And I think that is great because we can quickly share the status and quickly think of actions that can improve our registrations. They can improve our marketing activities. I really like when we have also this marketing schedule published on our WhatsApp group, which also is very beneficial to me to plan my marketing activities. So for me, like WhatsApp is the tool that I use every day, and it really helps me to collaborate in our initiative.
Thank you very much. And just to let you know, we have designated certain people to keep these groups alive. So you will see Pierre Axel from South Africa chapter always posting and communicating the the marketing schedule, because that's his responsibility to keep the group alive there. We have a group on chapter collaboration platform, which is a CCP. Again, we have Brushank Book from Gujarat chapter who keeps that community alive by initiating um, some updates about our events. What is the topic that has been chosen? So I encourage everyone to join the CCP group. That is a chapter collaboration platform. We have a community known as PMI Chapter Exchange. Do join us there and see what we are up to, right? And you touched upon another very interesting thing, Anita, about the data driven approach. Thanks to Pedro Panco from Sao Paulo, Brazil chapter, who has taken up this responsibility of analyzing every event and tracking the registrations countrywide, and there are and even day wise registrations, so that Anita knows that yesterday I made I know, Anita, you were telling me when I make a LinkedIn post in English, I get more traction than when I make it in Polish. So probably that's the action we need to take, and those actions are derived only because that analysis happens every day. I will say at the end of the day, I send a registration file to Pedro, who is still uh, probably his evening time or afternoon time, and it's afternoon time for him. He analyzes over the day and he sends back the analysis like in the morning when I get up, and that's where it gets communicated to everyone. So we also say that we follow the sun model. That is, the sun never sets in the PMI chapter exchange team, because when I am sleeping, someone else is also working on our actions, doing the analysis to see that what action needs to be taken, because we have only 2 weeks to promote an event, and just 10 days, and we cannot lose any single day, because we really want lots of participation. We want people to come here and take learnings from this event, and that's why we follow the sun model. That is like, when I'm sleeping, someone else is working. When that person is sleeping, I am working, so that we ensure that the program runs smooth. uh, so that's, thank you, both of you all, for participating in that follow the sun model as well. Now, we let us talk about a little about what is your tip for anyone who wants to build a diverse, virtual, as well I will say dispersed community like ours, right? So I'll start with Madeleine. What do you think would be your tip to anyone who wants to build such a community?
I think there now with these opportunities to go online and have international events. There are a lot of chances to build a lot of events, and the ideas might be limitless now. So I guess one tip that I can give is that to try to start small and try to experiment and
Yeah.
see what's working and what is not working. And about this, I think also that PMI Chapter Exchange is only at the beginning, and I'm excited to see how the project will evolve in the next years and what will become.
Sure. And yes, we also truly believe it's just the beginning because we are just learning, and definitely we are going to take it to, uh, much higher heights, I would say. Thanks to volunteers and chapter leaders like yourself, Anita, and many others who are part of this program. Anita, what is your tip for someone who wants to build a diverse, virtual, and dispersed community?
Mm-hmm. I agree with Madeline that to start small, step by step. I really like this Chinese proverb that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a small step. And I think that the crucial is to think about the idea that you would like to build your community around. We have really clear idea, the mission for our initiative, which is enable cross-chapter collaboration and encourage cultural diversity. This is our mission. This is what we are driving for, what we are striving for. So once I think you will define this idea, it will be also easier to build community, to find people who share the same values as you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. And for me, make most of this virtual world. Just don't be, scared why we are not able to go out, why we are not able to have a face-to-face event, or leave all those behind. Make most of this virtual world, and embrace all the differences that we have to build up on collective strength. And that's we truly believe in PMI Chapter Exchange. And with this. I would hand over the session back to our moderator to see if we have any questions that we would want to take.
Yeah, it was very interesting discussion. Thank you very much, Priya, for this panel that you provided. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you, Aneta. And actually, in the platform, we don't see questions, but still, it's probably because you answered so many questions in the panel, and I guess. But I have a question. So that's how I see it. Starting of the pandemic situation, you form a crew, you form a collaboration that is virtual. That's very interesting. How did you plan it? How did the COVID and pandemic situation affected this gathering, this initiative?
Anita, you want to take this question? Or you want me to talk about it? I
Yes,
can start
please.
and you can add. Yeah. So yes, as I said, we wanted to make most of the virtual world. If it was not for the virtual world, I I don't think I would be talking to Anita from Poland and Madeline from Netherlands or anyone from South Africa at this point of time, right? So that's what the pandemic is bought for us. We tried to take most of the virtual world. We made ourselves proficient in building virtual events, and slowly and steadily we built the community. It started with 3 chapters, went on to 5, 7, and 10 for 2020, and 10 more for 2021. We have many chapters who have requested, but we are saying wait because we want to learn, we want to improve before we bring in more and more chapters because we want everyone to have a superlative experience. Not only our chapter partners, but people, those who attend the events, the speakers, everyone. And that's how we have leveraged the COVID situation. Anything else that Anita, you or Madeline would want to add here?
Yes, I think that pandemic really opened us to new opportunities. As Priya said, I think that if it was not about virtual events, probably we would never met. Maybe I could see some event that Priya is talking, but that's it. And thanks to this initiative, we can really work together and get to know. We can learn how many chapters are there across the world. Um, Also, it gives us another opportunities. For example, we can actively search for speakers from our countries to speak in that global event organized by PMI. And for example, the president of our chapter had also opportunity to moderate one of the sessions, which is, I think, also great opportunity for each of us to improve our skills, to try new things. And I think that it wouldn't be possible if Priya didn't start this community and basically trying to reach out to other chapters. I think that's how it started.
And Madeline, you want to add anything to this?
I agree with what both of you said. I think we had a lot of opportunities with the pandemic, and that's the spark that created, in fact, this program. Because otherwise, it would have been impossible to get at this level with so many participants and to have so many chapters involved.
So there you have your answer.
Yeah, great, great, perfect. So, one more question. So you mentioned that the differences in time lag, the technical differences and technical issues. But have you had any cultural diversity situations that you had to take in mind while making this collaboration?
Yes, true. Uh, this is something that when I was doing this chapter outreach to get more chapters included into the program, and some cultures, they are open to me going out and reaching to them, right? But however, some cultures would want the president of my chapter to reach out to them rather than me. So I did realize that there's a difference in culture. Some cultures like to go through the hierarchy, so maybe that's the way we should approach them. And some cultures probably will talk to anyone, even like a small vice president outreach like me. So, yes, so depending on the culture, I had to tailor my outreach model to ensure that I don't offend anyone. I don't, I align to what they are expecting to. Another opportunity that came to me is that, in some cultures, we expect people to talk in the meetings, right? If you're not talking in the meeting, that means you are not, you're not participating. Whereas in other cultures, they would probably want you to be speaking only when you are called upon. So that's also something which I learned, because I would always be very active and jumping around and talking in between. But then over the time, I learned, yes, I need to tailor my communication, way of communication based on the culture.
Nice. And we have one question in the platform. What learned skills or changes would you implement in the future based on the developed ones till now?
Sorry, could you please repeat the question?
Yes, what learned skills can you implement in the future based on the developed ones till now? What skills?
New
What?
skills.
Yes,
New
yes.
skills. Okay. Yes. So, yeah, many new things to implement. First of all, I learned how to manage virtual events, which I had no idea what to do. If it was like, a year back, I would be shaking in front of the camera. I would keep my video switched off. I would never even open up the camera because I was so nervous. Today, I can speak in front of everyone. Okay, I don't care. So that is one new skill that I learned, and this is going to become extremely important in the future as we are moving into a hybrid model, right? So it's not that every time you will have people with you sitting next to you. Even in your business teams, you will have people who would be virtual, you would have your teams who would be sitting next to you. How do you engage both of them? That is the skill I think I need to develop on. We as project managers and leaders need to develop on. And I would open the floor to Anita and Madeleine again to add to this. What new skills do you think that we need to develop on?
Mm-hmm. So definitely, I know that I will need to implement this data-driven approach because, to be honest, we don't really analyze our registrations or participations, and for our events, we even track how many people registered against how many people attended, which is also giving us a message. Okay, people registered, but they don't really log in. So what's the issue? Did they forget, or was it different reason? So what I really observed that is working, it is analyzing the data, and it is definitely something that I need to bring to the next level because I think this is really important. And I think this is also what was our cooperation. I mean, from Poland with this initiative, that we didn't have many registrations, and thanks to that we really closely monitored the numbers. I could see how our numbers are rising, how we are progressing, and we are kind of also setting up little goals with Priya, like, okay, so we had this many registrations, let's strive for this many. And it also keeps me motivated. It also wants me to deliver more and more. So definitely, more data-driven approach from my side in our marketing approach to promoting events, not only not only to this project, but also in our chapter as well.
Definitely. It is the data driven future and it is about competing with yourself. How can I improve every month? So that's what we are looking for. Madeline, what is the new skill that you have learned for the future?
Yeah, well, I also, I was really surprised how you are using marketing techniques to drive the participation, and I am still looking into it and like to develop even more to drive the customer satisfaction, which is in fact our chapter members, and see what they would like more from our program, for example, and to work on this a bit. That's what I would like to try in the next months to experiment and see how we can improve there, and maybe we can learn from that and extend to other chapters as well.
Definitely. So it's about bringing local learning to the global platform and taking global learnings into the local platform. That is all we have to do. And that's a good learning from both of you all. And definitely that means we are doing some great job in marketing. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you. That was very, very interesting discussion, very interesting panel. Thank you, Priya. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you, Anita. You were great. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the event, this 3D event, and we'll see each other in the either in some other event or in some of your initiatives related to the Chapter Exchange program.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for having us.
Thanks, guys. And now we continue in 10 minutes. We'll have the next presentation from PMI Bulgaria chapter, where we will have the transforming value delivery through agile leadership. So stay tuned and stay with us. We're coming back in a while.